Copson, 33 years old. I'm currently a manager for a logistics company, so not really in the motorsport background as such. My racing experience, so it all started back when I was 10 years old. I got my first race car, which was a classic Mini, 1275cc Mini that I did mini stocks with. Probably about sort of 10-15 track days, and found that I was getting a bit more competitive. So I trying to understand the lap times, understand sort of like what was going on with the car, and bought the Fiesta St180. Had it for about a year, did a bit of development work. So this is where I found Nick and the gang at AET, got the V1 turbo put on it, but still found that I was itching for something more. I wanted the competition side of things, and started looking into race series really and what I could do, and Time Attack sort of fit the bill. So for me, Time Attack sort of fit the bill. The car is still a road car. I still use it on day to day when I need to, sort of obviously not as much as probably everybody else, but sort of when I was starting to look into it, I like sort of like going for that one lap. I sort of wanted to competition. I wanted that sort of that buzz that you would sort of get from competing, but I didn't want to enter something that was sort of door-to-door racing, which led me down the path of either sort of like the UK Time Attack or sort of like hill climbs. As opposed to last season, it's running now a new competition spec Pro Alloy intercooler, a radiator and oil cooler kit. It's having a one-off custom exhaust done by Cobra sort of next week. We have changed the 17-inch wheels to fit sort of the bigger Tarox brakes. So I'm now running the 325mm brakes and the 6-pot calipers. The seats, I've changed them for a more fitting bucket seat. Just so I'm all bolted in, so I can feel what the car is doing. We've started to go down the aero route with the car, so we've got the BYC rear wing, and we've got the front splitter on the car, and we started to do some development work on the rear bumper. We've removed the wheel well, and we're just trying to sort of get the air to flow sort of under the car or over the car, so in a way that actually helps the lap times. The car is running the VT330R kit with the ported manifold. It's got the ITG intake system crossover pipe. It's got the AirTech big boost kit. As I've mentioned, it's got the Pro Alloy competition spec kit on it. It's got the VUDU downpipe. It's going to have the Cobra 3-inch exhaust system, which is going to be a bit more custom made, but it's basically a Venom replica. So it's running around about sort of like 335 horsepower with just a tad over 300 pound-foot of torque at the wheels. In terms of the gearbox side, it's got the CAS plated diff. We're not allowed, or I wasn't allowed last year, to change the ratios or anything like that, so I haven't worked on that yet. In terms of chassis suspension and setup, so it's got the BC Racing coilover kit, it's got race spec springs, so they're uprated spring rates, DNA bottom arms, it's got the DNA rear brace kit on it as well, it's got the VUDU cage, it's got the Summit brace kit on it as well, so that holds the whole chassis sort of like really tight. It's got the 17-inch Pro Race Team Dynamic 1.2 wheels. It's got the Trofelo R Pirelli spec tyres, which we have to race, and every competitor races on those tyres to keep everything fair and square. And then, like I said, it's got the Tarox big brake kit on the front. It's got the ST170 rear brakes on the back with Tarox competition spec pads and the F2000 disc to match the front. And then just basically, really, we've just tried to shed as much weight as possible, but obviously keeping the car as user-friendly as we possibly can. For me, probably Cadwell Park. It's sort of quite tight, it's quite twisty, it's very narrow, elevation change, sort of like probably every corner is very different. So it's just a challenge really. It's really hard and technical, and to get that ultimate lap is It takes a lot out of you to achieve it, and once you've drove it, it's so rewarding when you actually hit that lap time. Me. It's not my best track. Track records as they go. We've wrote a Fiesta St180 off there last year in time attack. I only had one off all season. It was at Alton Park. You can still see the battle scars on the front end where I haven't changed the front bumper yet, but I came just as you're entering the forest. You've got sort of like two left-hand corners, and on the second corner there's a bit of a hump right in the corner, cold tyres. First lap out, and managed to stuff the car into the barrier, damaging the front and rear end. I would say the diff. I've moved from a Wave Trek diff, which was a lot better than standard, really good, but the plated diff that I got at the very end of last season saw my lap time sort of come down by around about half a second, and I closed the gap. You just sort of get a lot more for the driving style that I have. You get better turning and grip with the diff, and sort of like it's a lot more user friendly on circuit. So that for me is definitely my favourite mod.